Hi, my name is Goldy Moldavsky, and I'm the author of Kill the Boy Band. Fangirls, and especially boy band fangirls, fascinate me. We always see these girls with a barricade between them and their boy bands. They cry, they scream, they reach out for them. Fangirls say the most outrageous things. Things that they'll do for the boys they love, things they'll do to anyone who gets between them and the boys they love. But nobody ever seems to take these girls seriously. I wanted to take these girls seriously. I wanted to know what would happen if we lifted that barricade and let those girls loose. The novel begins with the four friends already in their New York City hotel room, only they've got a guest, Rupert Peete, a member of their favorite band, the Ruperts. He's blindfolded and tied to a chair. The rest of the book explores the question, what happens when you love a band so much it hurts? I hope you enjoy Kill the Boy Band, and I want to make one thing clear. Never underestimate the power of teenage girls.
Hello, my name is Paul Rudnick, and you may know me from The New Yorker or from such Hollywood movies as Addams Family Values or In and Out. But now I've written a new novel about friendship called It's All Your Fault. It's the story of two girls who haven't been friends in 4 long years. Heller Harrigan is a Hollywood hellraiser, a child star with an atrocious reputation. She has the lead in a blockbuster franchise and is about to become a superstar, if she can keep it together. Caitlin is her deeply religious and homeschooled cousin, coerced into making Sure Heller stays out of trouble the entire weekend before the movie debuts. Heller and Caitlin only have to spend 1 weekend together, but so much can go wrong when former best friends start fighting so dirty. I love YA, and I've always noticed how much romance there is in those books, which is great, but I wanted to write about the other big love at that age, best friends. I hope my book will make you laugh and want to jump on the phone to the person who knows you best, even if it's only to say, it's all your fault.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey Self, and my book is Drag Teen, which is the story of teenage angst and wigs. So many wigs. I mean, we've got long wigs, short wigs, curly wigs, straight wigs, expensive wigs, thrift shop wigs, metaphorical wigs, and underneath it all, it is a story about letting yourself find the real you and letting it shine through, which in a lot of cases involves wearing a wig. A lot of wigs.
Jane B. Mason is the author of many beloved middle grade novels, and now I'm excited to present her extraordinary YA debut, Without Annette. Josie Little has traveled halfway across the U.S. with her girlfriend Annette to attend a prestigious New England boarding school. But once they arrive, Josie and Annette realize that life is about to take a very drastic turn. And when it does, the results are explosive. Will their relationship be able to survive in this elite and rather elitist world? Jane tackles the big questions. What kind of person do I want to be? What kind of person do I want to be with? And she does it with remarkable wisdom and urgency.
Hi, I'm Luann Rice, and I've written my first YA novel, The Secret Language of Sisters. In the novel, there are two sisters, Tilly and Rue, and through this horrible event, Rue is texting with Tilly, and she goes off the road and has a very bad accident. She develops a condition that's quite rare. It's called locked-in syndrome. When a person has that, she's literally locked in to her body, unable to move any muscle in her body. The only thing that can move is the movement of an eye, and nobody knows she's in there except one person. And of course, it's her sister, Tilly. So I hope that you'll enjoy it and talk to your sisters.
Hi, I'm author Aimee Friedman, and I'm so happy to talk to you today about my new novel, 2 Summers. When Summer Everett makes a split-second decision, her summer divides into 2 parallel worlds. In one, she travels to France, a land she's always dreamed of going, a place of cafes, handsome boys, and art museums. In the other, she remains home in her ordinary suburb, but nothing is as it seems. In both summers, she will fall in love and discover some startling truths. What may break her, though, is a terrible family secret, one she can't hide from anywhere. But in the end, it may be the truth she needs the most.
We wrote Same But Different because we wanted to share our autism journey with other families going through the rather difficult teenage years.
When my mom and I wrote our first book, My Brother Charlie, it was to raise awareness towards those who are affected by autism and to help kids understand what autism is. But when we were beginning to write Same But Different, I realized that there wasn't much out there that was talking about the experience of living with someone with autism or having autism when you're in middle school and high school, and I feel like that's a topic that really needs to be explored.
I wanted to write this book because I want to help people at my age, teenagers with autism, to help them thrive and grow.
Our hope is that Same But Different becomes a book that families can look to help them navigate the difficult teenage years when you have a child on the autism spectrum. Our journey is just one journey, and we hope that by sharing this, it will help so many families, right guys?
Mm-hmm. Hello, it's David, and I am holding in my hand, actually I'm trembling as I'm holding this. This is Jenny Downham's, the proof copy of Jenny Downham's Unbecoming, and let me tell you, you Scholasticos over there, DFB has for you an absolute treasure. It tells the story of 3 women, one a teenage girl, one a 70-year-old on the edge of dementia, and one shadowed brilliantly between in two narratives, Caroline, the mother. These 3 women, this shouldn't work, this book. It should fail. Nobody should be able to meld and put together 3 generations of women in such a brilliantly human and touching novel. But Jenny has pulled it off. My Name Is Not Friday by John Walter. This is John's second book after the wonderfully well-received Close to the Wind. And in My Name Is Not Friday, John tells the story of Samuel, a lovely African-American boy who can read, who is educated, but who is sold treacherously into slavery. This tale of injustice is so moving, and this is an area which is usually only told for adults, but I think is wonderfully well done here for children, and a beautiful and very, very moving story. My Name Is Not Friday by John Walter. I can't recommend it to you more.
Hi, I'm Eliot Schrefer, author of Endangered and Threatened. For my latest book, Rescued, I got to go to Indonesia and hang out with orphaned orangutans at rehabilitation centers in Sumatra and Borneo. There I learned a lot about this gentlest and shyest of the great apes, mainly that they also happen to be the most devious of them all. In Rescued, John doesn't think of Raja as an ape. He's just family. The two grew up together in rural Georgia after John's father returned from a business trip with an orphan baby orangutan. But when Raja grows big and less cute, he gets too strong to control. And when Raja hurts someone by accident, John's father resolves to send him to a roadside zoo. John is left in an impossible position. In order to save his orangutan brother, he must break him free, and they're thrust on the most dangerous road trip of their lives. They're on the run from family and police, trying to get Raja back home to the jungles of Indonesia. But will either of them survive the journey? Every time I write about apes, I learn more about both apes and humans. I hope you do too, reading Rescued.
Longbow Girl is a book that I think will appeal to everyone who loves a great story with action and adventure. I think it's a story that will particularly appeal to girls because the central character, the action hero, is a girl. Mary Owen is a 15-year-old archer trained from the age of 5 in the skill of the longbow. She is the first in a long tradition of longbow men that stretch back 700 years to the Battle of Crecy. But she is the first longbow girl. One day when she's out riding her Welsh mountain pony Jacintha, she makes an incredible discovery that will change her life and the life of everyone she loves, if she's brave enough to fight. It's a story about who we are, whether we're prisoners of our history or whether we can forge our own identity, and a story about falling for the wrong person and them falling for us. It's a very personal story to me because when I was a young girl, my parents bought me a longbow, slightly smaller than this, and a Welsh mountain pony called Jacintha. I hope you love it.
I'm thrilled to present Wendy Spinell's debut novel, Everland, the first in a new trilogy that twists childhood classics into something breathtakingly original. It starts with a stunning reimagining of Peter Pan and Wendy, where London has been laid to waste by disease and the German army. The only survivors are children, including Gwen Darling and her siblings. The leader of the German army, Captain Hook, is desperate to find a cure, and he is convinced that it can be found within one of the surviving kids. He and his men start kidnapping children, including Gwen's sister. As Gwen sets out to get her back, she meets a mysterious boy named Peete, who offers the help of his gang of lost boys and the fierce sharpshooter Bella. Everland is the sort of book that will whisk you away to another world. No pixie dust required.
In 100 Hours of Night, 15-year-old Amelia is in the midst of a scandal that's turned her life upside down. School is unbearable. People are stalking her on Twitter. Her solution? Follow her heart and run away to New York. Unfortunately, her timing couldn't be worse, as just days after her arrival, Hurricane Sandy hits the city. This is a great New York novel, full of dreamy, wide-eyed descriptions. It's a story of people coming together in a time of crisis to weather all kinds of storms. And it's a book with a great backstory. The author, Anna Woltz, is Dutch and was living in New York temporarily during Hurricane Sandy. Actually, her author photo is a selfie she took during the blackout. So she writes with wonderful authenticity and love for what was a challenging but ultimately unforgettable time in her own life.
Francisco Stork astonished the YA community with Marcello in the Real World and The Last Summer of the Death Warriors. Now he's back with The Memory of Light. The morning after a suicide attempt, Vicky Cruz wakes up in Lakeville Hospital. In its mental ward, she begins to understand the depression that drove her suicide attempt and finds the friendship and acceptance she so desperately needs. But when she has to leave the hospital, will that be enough? The Memory of Light is the rare YA novel that focuses not on what leads up to a suicide attempt, but how to go on afterward. And as 1 in 5 teenagers in the United States suffers from depression, this novel not only reflects their experience, but offers Francisco's own unique wisdom about living with the disease. The book has already received 3-starred reviews. Kirkus called it one of Francisco's richest and most emotionally charged novels yet. And Stephanie Perkins, author of Isla and the Happily Ever After, said this book just might save your life. You might recognize Neil Bascom's name from The Nazi Hunters, which won the 2014 YALSA Excellence Nonfiction Award. Now Neil is back with another terrific work of narrative nonfiction, Sabotage, The Mission to Destroy Hitler's Atomic Bomb. In this true-life adventure, a group of Norwegian rebels unite to blow up a power plant where the Nazis manufacture a key ingredient for their very own nuclear weapon. It's an incredible survival story as the commandos struggle through a harsh winter in the wilderness. It has a fascinating science angle as the German scientists race to build their bomb. It's nonfiction made immediate and exciting, with great characters and sharp writing that will have you on the edge of your seat, and illustrated throughout with fantastic photographs. If you love history or hero stories, don't miss Sabotage by Neil Bascom.
Run was born out of 2 things that I care about a lot: female friendships in fiction and the need to see towns like the one where I grew up portrayed in stories. Bo and Agnes are 2 very different girls living in the same small southern town. Bo is a girl with a wild reputation, a deadbeat dad, and a mom who's not exactly sober most of the time, while Agnes, who is legally blind, has never even been out on a date, never stayed out past 10. She's spent her whole life following her parents' overbearing rules. So when Bo shows up in the middle of the night with police sirens in the background, wanting to run away from home, Agnes agrees. The girls steal a car, but they'll also have to find Bo's dad and stay ahead of the authorities, all while confronting some unpleasant secrets about each other. I want to thank everyone who supported me through my books like The Duff and Lying Out Loud, and I really hope that you will enjoy Run just as much.